So when you think about the Harry Potter cast, you probably picture magic, huge success, and, global fame. But for one of the young actors, the story took a turn that was, well, a whole lot darker. One that ended not on a red carpet, but inside a prison cell. So how does a kid from Hogwarts actually end up behind bars?
Okay, so just for a second, think about it. If you heard Harry Potter star arrested, who pops into your head? One of the main three? Maybe Tom Felton, who played Draco Malfoy?
Yeah, the answer is probably going to surprise you. It wasn't one of the big names. The actor we're talking about is Jamie Waylett, who played Vincent Crabbe, one of Malfoy's loyal, but let's just say less than brilliant cronies. His story is a wild ride and a serious cautionary tale.
So to really get how this all went so sideways, we've got to go back to the very beginning. And for Jamie Waylett, his start is honestly kind of like a movie plot in itself.
Okay, picture this. It's the year 2000. Jamie is just this regular 11-year-old kid in London. No acting experience, like zero. But when casting scouts for Warner Brothers showed up at his school, they just spotted him and basically said, "Yep, you're the one." Just like that, he was cast in what would become one of the biggest movie franchises of all time.
And his rise to fame was just insane. It was so fast. In 2001, that first movie is a worldwide hit. By 2005, after 4 movies, he's 16 years old and an international star. I mean, he's living a life that most kids can only dream about, right? But as we all know, that kind of fame, especially that young, comes with a ton of pressure.
But, despite this unbelievable opportunity, it really seems like Jamie just couldn't handle it. Or maybe he didn't appreciate it. On set, his behavior started becoming a huge problem, and it started to show that behind the scenes, things at Hogwarts weren't quite so magical.
And the problems on set were, well, they were pretty specific. Apparently, he got a real attitude. He'd even sneak headphones on set to listen to rap music instead of the director. His whole vibe just became aggressive, and it led to these verbal fights with his castmates.
And one of these big blow-ups was actually with Tom Felton, who played Draco Malfoy. According to Felton's own account, they were getting ready for a scene, and Waylett just kept kicking him under the table and just whispering this insult to him again and again.
So eventually, Tom Felton just snapped. He punched Waylett, gave him a bloody nose right before they were supposed to start filming. The whole scene was ruined, and you can bet the crew was absolutely furious with both of them. It was a pretty clear sign that things were getting way out of control.
And look, the problems weren't just happening on set, not even close. As he got a little older, rumors started flying about his life off-screen. People were saying he was partying hard, using drugs like cannabis and cocaine. And get this, he allegedly even showed up to a Harry Potter premiere high on cocaine.
So all of this whole pattern of behavior, it was all building up to something. And then, in 2009, it all came crashing down. That's when he had his first really serious run-in with the law. He was 19 years old. So, he's not a kid anymore in the eyes of the law. He wasn't protected by child labor laws or anything like that. He was an adult. And the consequences he was about to face, they were about to get very real.
And you won't believe how fast this whole thing unraveled. It all started with something so dumb. He took a picture of a police car. The cops thought it was suspicious, so they pulled him over. In his car, they found a knife and 8 bags of cannabis. But the real kicker was on his phone, pictures of cannabis plants, which led police right to his house. And what did they find? A full-on cannabis farm growing in his bedroom.
So when he gets to court, his whole defense is basically playing the troubled child star card, that the pressure of fame made him turn to drugs. And you know what? The judge actually bought it. Kinda. He got off pretty light with just community service instead of jail time. Basically, he got a huge second chance. But Warner Brothers, they were not so forgiving.
I mean, it makes sense. You can't have an actor with a drug bust on their record in a massive family franchise. They fired him. And in this crazy ironic twist, his character, Crabbe, was completely written out of the last movies. His biggest scene from the books, where he dies in the Room of Requirement, was just given to a different character. And just like that, his career in the magical world was completely over.
But believe it or not, the story doesn't even end there. After losing this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, he was about to make things so much worse. This was the final act.
Okay, so jump forward to the summer of 2011. London is in chaos. There were massive riots breaking out all over the city after a police shooting. Protests turned into looting and violence. And who decides to jump right into the middle of all that chaos? Yep, Jamie Waylett.
And he wasn't just watching from the sidelines. He was caught on camera with a mob, looting a supermarket, raiding the pharmacy, and just casually drinking stolen champagne in the middle of the street. And, this is the big one, he was seen holding a Molotov cocktail, a firebomb. It was like he was treating the whole riot like some kind of big street party.
Of course, in this day and age, everything is on camera. His actions were caught on CCTV, and it really didn't take police long to look at the footage and go, wait a second, isn't that the guy from Harry Potter running around with a firebomb? He was arrested not long after.
This time, there were no second chances, no troubled child star defense. Jamie Waylett was sentenced to 2 years in prison. The kid from Hogwarts was now officially a convicted felon.
So, what's the takeaway from all this? The story of Jamie Waylett is more than just some celebrity drama. It's a pretty powerful and honestly a really tragic story about what can happen with fame, the choices we make, and the consequences that follow.
I mean, the contrast is just, it's mind-blowing. On one side, you have this golden ticket, a huge role in one of the most beloved franchises ever. And on the other, a total disaster, a ruined career, and a prison sentence. It's just staggering.
So it really leaves you with this one big question. Was he a victim? You know, a troubled kid who just got swallowed up by a level of fame he was never ready for? Or was he the one holding the pen the whole time, making one bad choice after another that led him right down this path to ruin?